Welcome back. This is still TV3 New Days. Time now for the big issue. It is Thursday, so I'm surrounded by beautiful, intelligent women, and we'll be discussing all the very important matters that have arisen in the last few hours. Of course, again, big issue is streaming live on Facebook. You can also find us on DSTV channel 279. And this segment is proudly brought to you by Niche Cocoa and Niche Chocolate Drink. So I have a very simple question for you. Are you looking for that drink that is delicious, is creamy and rich with vitamins, minerals, and has the goodness of cocoa all at the same time? Then, of course, it's all about the brand new Niche Chocolate Drink. It's made with Ghana's finest wholesome cocoa, and it's full of delicious goodness. So Niche Chocolate Drink comes in 250 ml bottle and also 180 ml Tetra packs, so you can enjoy it big or small, and it's great for all members of the family. It's available in any shop near you, and so make sure that you walk in and get for yourself Niche Taste of Ghana, and it's displayed on the table. They have Niche chocolate as well, and they come in different flavors, about 7 or more flavors. There's coconuts, there's strawberry, there's banana, there's ginger, there's the regular milk, there's dark chocolate, all of that as well. So they have a variety of products all for you. This morning, I'm joined by Ama Frimpong. She's a National Communications Team member for the NPP. Good morning.
Hello.
Good to meet you for the first time.
Good to meet you.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you very much.
You're
and I hope you had a good week.
as always.
Thank you so much, Ama. And also Beatrice Annan Esquire, of course, a member of the legal team of the NDC. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Everything okay?
Yes, everything is okay.
You had enough rest?
I haven't, but it's okay.
Oh, you haven't?
Yes, I haven't.
I'm sure Ama has. She looks very relaxed.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Really?
Oh, you haven't? You also haven't rested? A lot of work to do, huh? It's all good, but yes, the work continues. And let's discuss yesterday's event and how it all ended. Of course, you know that yesterday was day 2 of the Arise Ghana demonstration. We saw the demonstrators also gather at the LWAC Sports Stadium, and they went through the routes, got to Jubilee House, chanted a bit, and then continued to the ministries to present their petition to the Finance Ministry. It was received by the 2 deputies, Honorable John Kuma and also Honorable Ay3. And so after that, they went to Parliament and also presented it to the parliamentarians. And there were some speeches that were given. Let's go back to the Finance Ministry. And again, yesterday was largely peaceful. And so kudos to the demonstrators, kudos to the Ghana police. But you remember that day 1, unfortunately, was marred by some violence. And so everybody was looking forward to how yesterday would go. It went really peaceful, and Ghana is grateful for that. But let's take a listen to what Abena Osei-Asare, Deputy Minister for Finance, had to say when the petition was presented to her.
Government with the relevant ministers met some important stakeholders on the rising food prices. Government will continue to meet all the relevant stakeholders and make sure that together we come out with policies and programs that will address the issues that you have raised here today. We will make sure the minister also receives the petition and do whatever is necessary to address the concerns that you have raised.
All right, so this is government's response to the petition that was put before the Finance Ministry. That's Honorable Abena Osei-Asare. But interestingly, one of the leaders of Arise Ghana said he did not believe in the statement that was made by the Deputy Minister of Finance. Komladum asked Sami Jemfi what he made of the minister's statement, and this is what he had to say.
On the Deputy Finance Minister's message that government has already begun stakeholder engagements to address some of the issues you raised, does it satisfy you in any?
That is political talk as usual. We are not interested in cheap tokenism or cheap gimmicks. No, we want action.
Well, they say they want action. Let me start off with Beatrice. She played a very critical role in all of this as one of the lawyers for Mr. Bernard Mona. Good to have you. That's why I was asking if you had rested enough, because I believe that maybe at least a large part of the work had been done as at the end of yesterday. Your general thoughts on day 1 and day 2 of the demonstration, and subsequently the Deputy Minister's response to the petition that was presented to the Finance Ministry.
So, a very good morning to our lovely viewers. I think that I want to commend TV3 before I say anything for a good showmanship by way of reporting international standard. Yeah, you maybe you should be competing with CNN on this one. Your reporter on the field, I've forgotten his name. Marina, fantastic, yes. Fantastic job. I used to doubt reporters because I always have the impression they are away from the scene and they report hearsay, but he was with them day one, day two. You could see sometimes some of the live bullets flying on top of his head, and I think
saw a live bullet fly on top of his head?
No, I mean where he was, and the bullets, of course, it will fly on top of his head.
But you didn't
and so I want to commend him. It's a good job done. If you do a bad job, we'll bash you. So if you do a good job, we equally have to applaud you, and I applaud you for that work. For me, the demonstration is historic. In my adult life, this is the first time I've seen a 48-hour demonstration. For yesterday,
it wasn't 48 hours though, was it?
I mean, it was 2 days. It wasn't continuous, but it was 48 hours. And this is the first time in my adult life I'm seeing something like that. And having regard to what happened on Tuesday, how people were affected by the tear gas, the rubber bullets, the hot water and all that, I was even a bit skeptical that the people will come in their numbers. But you could see that the anger and hunger in the system cannot be deterred by any bullets, by any tear gas, because I think it is more painful to be hungry and not know where the next meal will come from than it is to suffer from tear gas. I think it is more painful to live as a young person who will not find job after 7 years, having a degree, being married and not being able to feed your kids, while you watch your leaders live very ostentatious lives as though they are Arabian king. It is easier to resist a dictatorial person in a democratic regime than it is to exercise your constitutionally guaranteed right. And I must say that I am super proud of the demonstrators. I am super proud of the Ghanaian youth who have sent a signal to the presidency that you cannot live such a luxurious life at the expense of our future. You cannot live your dreams at 78 when we are 30 years, 25 years, 22 years. And for the first time, you saw young people who were not cladded in red. They just had to leave the office to join demonstrators. If it had to send a signal, and I would have loved to be present, but of course I was behind the scene doing the legal work. And it is most shameful to say that the people who were even arrested on the first day of the demonstration for no wrong were denied access to their legal counsel. On Tuesday, we were never allowed to see them. They kept moving them from one police station to the other. Yesterday, we were at the police headquarters. We stood there. We went to the Tesano. They have been denying their rights. And I want to believe that we are not living in the failed state. And those rights are much as guaranteed as any right. And so I want to call on the Ghana Police Service that the 29 people, innocent protesters they are holding, should be released on police inquiry bay. And today is Matters Day. The courts are not working. And so in flagrant breach of their rights, they are being held beyond 48 hours. What is their crime? Because they are suffering under this government and they are being asked that do not air your view. This is the only government that is raping the public purse, raping and dissipating our resources, and still want to control the pitch at which we speak. And still want to control our choices of words that we have to use to express what we feel. And I think that every young person, like our national pledge says, we have a duty to resist oppressors' rule. And that is exactly what the demonstrators showed. That the police can't fire everything, but on the next day, we are even more than resolved. And I say that I hope that yesterday or the 2 days demonstration is loud enough to wake the president up. Because even the Bible says that a little sleep, a little slumber, and poverty will come upon you like an armed man. And if you look at the poverty that has come upon us as a nation, it is obvious that our leaders are sleeping. and something has to be done.
But if you talk about, Ed, we'll come to what our leaders are doing, of course, what Honorable Abena Osei said. But you're talking about the 29 protesters and saying that they were only arrested because they were protesting the economic hardships in the country.
Yes.
But the police have clearly stated that they were attacked unprovoked. And so everyone who destroyed public property, everybody who acted unlawful, will be dealt with according to the law. No official charges have been preferred yet. Of course, they're being held beyond the 48-hour, which is unlawful, you know. But at the same time, were they not part of the people who may have destroyed property, which is why they were arrested?
Bella, we live in the country where the law is that unless you're proven guilty, you are innocent. It is the reason why the law gives the police the right to detain a person or an accused person for 48 hours. And beyond that, they do not have the discretion to do that again. And so you saw some of the footages. They arrest somebody who was in a handcuff, and the senior policeman assaults that person. Where is that senior policeman? That the law has to apply selectively. So I am of a strong opinion that as a lawyer for Arise Ghana, those people arrested did not carry out anything. In fact, it was people that have been planted by the police who started pelting stone.
Those are your allegations
and my
against the
clients,
police.
they are my instructions. My clients informed me that at a point, they even held one person and said, please take this person who is pelting stone. You refuse to arrest the person, and you arrest innocent people. You assault them. You deny them, assuming without admitting that they even pelted stone. A claim which we vehemently deny. It is not for the police to keep them beyond 48 hours. They don't have that power. And so let nobody assume that merely because something has been done, they will also breach the laws to punish whatever. That is not the aim of the law. And so the consistent pattern of state actors that when we are hurting you, we still want to control what you say must stop. Because one of the fundamental tenets of every democracy is your right to exercise whatever rights have been guaranteed in the Constitution, albeit lawful. And so in the absence of any evidence, the police cannot merely say that we've arrested this person on the basis of what? On the basis of what? We saw this Ghana police rob bullion vans. Where are those people? We saw Kaka, who was a member of the MPP, arrested on the basis of expressing his opinion. The consistent pattern is worrying, and we should not encourage that. And I will say that no amount of PR gimmick by the police will salvage their image when it comes to violation of human rights. The consistent thing of orders from above, orders from politicians. Let's not allow this so that the MPP government will give every politician a bad name. Okay,
well, they say don't judge them by their past. Allow them to do their work.
But so even what they are doing in the present appears even worse by the past.
But at the same time, of course, you being a lawyer, I want some understanding on the stay of execution that was filed by your team.
I filed it.
You filed it. Okay. So there's been a bit of confusion as to why the police prevented the demonstrators from even using the initial routes that they had wanted to, even prior to the court ruling that they could not use those routes and converge at the Jubilee House. But then we also heard from lawyer Martin Pebu saying that what the police should have done when that stay of execution was filed was to have also gone for an abridgment of time, just so that they can ensure that the court ruling stays. But once they didn't do that, then the stay of execution, whether heard or unheard, nullifies what the court ruling was until it is heard. Yes. Is that really true?
Yes, that is actually the position, because we disagreed with the decision of the trial high court. And so we filed an appeal, and we filed the stay of execution pending appeal. Now, the essence of filing stay of execution pending appeal is to state that decision that you disagree with. So, however frivolous that your stay of execution is, when it is filed, it remains, it stays the decision of the court. Okay. And we thought that having had the agreement with the police, that having reached a consensus on the 24th, that you were going to start from 12 noon and close at 8 p.m. Having filed the stay, the police would, engage us and reach a compromise. In fact, For the people who were on the grounds, they agreed only to make some calls to the powers that be or whoever those people are and say that we will not allow. And so the demonstrators believed that having filed the stay, this was what it means. The police said otherwise, and it resulted in that chaos. But I'm happy that yesterday, the second day, they agreed routes. But let me say that sometimes we need to get over ourselves and accept that we live in the democratic regime. Yesterday, en route to the finance ministry, en route to the Parliament House, the demonstrators used the Jubilee House. What happened? What happened? Nothing happened. Because this is not the first time that demonstrators have used Jubilee. In fact, Nanado became who he is by reason of leading demonstrators. In 2016, MPP members disguised as Occupy Ghana and neutrals were allowed to demonstrate at the Flagstaff House. Because when you want to send a message to the government, where else would you send the message than to the seat of government? And yesterday you could see that nothing happened. The demonstrators passed peacefully. They presented their petitions and nothing happened. And the first day it could have been the same. But you see, at the mention of dry bones, if you're an old man, obviously you'll be scared. The government knows that it has mismanaged this economy in more than, this economy is in the worst state than 35 years ago. All the macroeconomic indicators shows that we are in a very messy situation. And what makes a leader, the difference between a good leader and a terrible leader, as we are experiencing, is the leader's response to crisis.
But they say they are doing something about it.
What are they doing?
You heard from the deputy minister
What are they
yesterday.
doing? This government is the only government who
Land on this for me so I can.
This government is the only government that meets on problems, discuss the problem, and nothing gets done. Did they not go to Pedrase at the expense of the taxpayers for a week? What happened? I think things even became worse because at the time they were going to Pedrase, inflation was around 18. Now food inflation is 30.1. And so what are they doing? Okay. And so allow the young people to vent. Allow young people to send you a feedback because people are suffering.
Okay.
Krom, shit.
All right. I'm coming, and of course, if you've listened to Beatrice clearly, she says that the government has not really shown any much concern in addressing these concerns that they've always had and Ghanaians have always had. So the question then will be that listening to the Honorable Deputy Minister yesterday saying that we're going to do everything we can, and Sami Jemfi says that's just talk without action. What do you say to that?
Good morning, Bella. Good morning, Beatrice. You mentioned she's a lawyer. So in her talk, I heard a brief, it was a passing sentence saying that today being Martyrs' Day. So for me, today, I'm not a lawyer.
Okay.
I've never been to law school, so I don't know. But if you're a lawyer or if you're a member of the legal fraternity in Ghana, Martyrs' Day means a lot. And it says here, I'll just quote something small. Today in history, lest we forget. This day 40 years ago witnessed the abduction, brutal and wicked murder of Mr. Justice Fred Poku-Sarkodie, Mrs. Justice Cecilia Kranting-Addo, and Mr. Justice Kwejo Ejei-Jepon, all judges of the High Court, and Major Sam Akwa, a retired army officer. The significance of this day still inspires the Ghanaian to be bold in defense of unassailable principles of human rights, rule of law, and liberty. The three justices of our courts, rightly named martyrs, upheld these sacred principles despite the intense hostility from the totalitarian military regime of Jerry John Rawlings. May our families who suffered this traumatic experience continue to find solace and comfort in the Most High God.
Okay.
May the Almighty God also bless the selfless efforts of the many venerable members of the Ghana Bar Association who in those heady days risked their lives and saw to it that this infamous day was marked every year. To those who made tremendous effort for a semblance of justice to be served on the bereaved families, particularly the courageous members of the SIB, chaired by the late former Chief Justice Azu Krab, the 23rd Chief Justice George Kingsley Akwa, who ensured these slain judges were immortalized as martyrs of the rule of law at the forecourt of the Supreme Court of Ghana, and President J. Kufuor, who initiated the healing process by instituting the National Reconciliation Committee. The bereaved families are eternally grateful. Finally,
can we continue? I mean, we don't have to read.
So Martyrs Day, it is written by Engineer Kwabena Ejipon on behalf of the families. So it reiterates everything that we are talking about here. People were killed for democracy. People have died in this country. People have suffered. Families are still grieving. If you are talking about someone being a dictator, if there was dictatorship, you and I wouldn't be sitting here. Would be, I mean, TV3 is just adjacent to the seat of power. Has there been any day that the seat of power has forced themselves here to try and stop TV3 from practicing their media work? No. We are in a democracy. So if people decide to express their views on what is happening in the country via demonstrations, via shouting on TV, via screaming on top of their lungs, nobody stops them.
Nobody does, even in the culture of silence, which is what a number of media people have come to accept, because unfortunately, when you speak up about
I heard
issues,
this morning when I was coming in, I was asking whether there was, I thought the TVs were on high, you know. It was until I got close that I realized that it was a journalist who was talking in the morning. He had his voice up. He was talking about issues that he's passionate about. No one has stopped anyone. People talk in this country. When I hear people say culture of silence, I am 48 years. I've lived through it. I know what culture of silence means. I know what it means by standing outside your house and there was something called a pins goer, where you don't see the people. They have something like a round thing where their heads show, and it means 6 p.m. go to bed. Nobody stops anyone from saying what they want in this country. But then, as adults too who are responsible, freedom of speech does not mean that go a step further and abuse freedom of speech. We all are in a democracy, but we don't abuse it. It doesn't mean that if I get up in the morning and I sit on radio or I stand out there and I scream and I shout and I insult, someone would come and just pick me up and take me to the courts or to police cells or anything like that. You work within the tenets of guidelines. You know what you can say and get away with it. I could sit here and couch a statement. At the end of the day, if I leave, you sit back and you say to yourself, what she said was really insulting, but it's the way and manner she said it. At that time, what could I say? I didn't say anything, or I couldn't say anything about it, because words that you use, how you use them, how you go about using them. Yesterday, people were chanting on TV. Beatrice rightly said that we commend TV3. We commend all the media houses there. Luckily and thankfully, these days we see live TV, things that happen on the scene, on the spot. On the first day, we also saw what happened there. I mean, it doesn't take me to come and sit here and tell Ghanaians that this and this is what happened there. The leaders of the demonstration, yesterday or this morning when I got in, I saw one of them on TV saying that what happened on the first day, it wasn't right. You know, people, you see, that's one of the things, hypocrisy. When you do something and you are wrong, and you come out and you admit it, people sit back and realize that, okay, you notice that it could have gone a better way, but it didn't. Why would I go out there to demonstrate, which is my legal, you know, within the legal whatever of the country? It is part of it. It is all part of democracy. Even in the advanced states, the first world states that we look up to or we read from them, we see on TV, CNN and everything, people go on demonstrations. But if I'm going for a demonstration and right from day one or right from where I sit, I have a stone to go and pelt, it means I have predetermined that I'm going to hurt someone.
You can't say that for a fact, because again, it is
or because
your
I
word
got there,
or the police's word against the demonstrators.
No, it's not my word against the police word. It is me as an adult watching TV, what I see.
What did you see exactly?
Really? TV3, you've been on there. Are you saying you haven't seen it?
You are saying that what you saw,
because stones. I saw people stand on top of the flyover, throw stones downstairs. I did see it, but it's not for you to interrupt me and tell me you didn't see it. I'm not
interrupting you.
I saw it. I know what I saw.
Unless there's an investigation to really establish, because the demonstrators have also accused the police of planting people among them who were pelting the stones.
I mean, that is their right. If the onus lies on them to prove that the police really planted them there.
But the onus also lies on you to prove them.
I saw them. I saw people stand out upstairs and up on the flyover.
Can you guarantee that those were demonstrators, or those were probably some people that may have planted?
So people came from nowhere and stood up there and decided that let me just throw stones. Well, if you're a bystander, if you didn't go for a demonstration with them, you stood up there and you decided to throw a stone, it is still an offense. Okay. The law must deal with you. Same as those who brought in the ties. That is showing on the screens right now. The people standing there, they are visible to the naked eye. Are you telling me that these people standing there were robots that were plucked from nowhere? These are human beings. The police, everyone sitting at home, wherever they are watching, can actually see them. They are walking there. I mean, if you zoom, if you put it there, or if you arrest a leader of a demonstration, saying that you are the person that led these people here, so you take responsibility for them and you take them to court, let's say, I guarantee you that they will fish these people out to come and face the laws themselves, because one, they're adults. They look over 18 years. They are responsible for whatever action they take. If I wake up in the morning, I pick a stone and I come and stand outside TV3 and I throw it in and I hurt someone, I am an adult. If you take me to the police station, I have to defend myself. Yes, I have that right. But then you also have, you have the right to charge me for causing you harm, for causing loss. I have to pay for those damages. I can't just do it and get away with it.
But would you say that the police were right for throwing or firing tear gas into the crowd? Because, like I said, it's the demonstrators' word against the police, because they are saying that they were provoked.
So first and foremost,
which is why they responded. And we have a video where a policeman actually threw tear gas into the crowd, which is what provoked them. No,
the police were there first and foremost to protect lives and property. That's why they went to them, because the Public Order Act. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know what it says. But if you are going for a demonstration, you send a letter to the Ghana police, because that's one of their mandates. They are not just there to stand there in their riot gear and look beautiful for us to see them.
What are they supposed to do?
They're supposed to protect the people that are going, one, lives. Two, properties. And not just properties of the people who are there, properties of the state, properties of individuals who are walking past. I could be an innocent bystander. I could be walking along that route. Someone hurts me. When I'm taking, that's what the police are there for. They are just to ensure that there's law and order as well. And for every human being, your own safety, your own well-being is also very important to you. When Beatrice was speaking, I was hoping that she would say that as a legal person or as a lawyer, she also is saying sorry, or she's also sympathizing or empathizing with the police people who were injured as well. But that's not her concern.
But the police did not also show any form of sympathy in their statement. They were more concerned about the police officers that were hurt. In the first and second statements that were released by the police, they only made mention of the police officers.
Yes, because they've seen them.
Hurt, about 11 of them. There was no mention of demonstrators who may have also been hurt, or even innocent bystanders who also were caught in the chaos.
Did you show, or did TV3 show that innocent? I've seen one. There's a gentleman who had an eye patch or a red eye. I really feel sorry for him. I'm sorry what happened to him, because during the MPP time, we had a gentleman, Justice Ajakuma, who eventually he passed away. And it brings back that same memory, because it's the same eye. The person got injured with his eye. So as a rational, normal human being, I also feel sorry that somebody has gone to a demonstration and has been injured.
There was even another person who was slapped by the senior police officer, even though he was handcuffed.
I've seen the injured one. The
but
one that I've seen is the one that I can talk
There was
of.
even someone who was bleeding in his palm because apparently, you know, he was hit by a rubber bullet. That's alleged, by the way, but we saw the blood. Mawin Agbeta showed that on TV as well.
I
so there were a number of demonstrators who were hurt. There were even innocent bystanders. There was a young man who said that he had only come to town to get his Ghana card issues addressed. And so he was on his way back home trying to get into a car, and then they threw the tear gas. So he had to run for his life. And one of the journalists chased him into the market to ask him about it. And he said he was not part of the demonstration, but he was caught in the crossfire.
So caught in the crossfire. That's why I mentioned that the police are there to protect and, you know, ensure that everything goes according to plan. But I'm not here to make a case for the police, or I'm not here to speak for them. In that same vein, if the police are being attacked, what are they supposed to do? As any normal, rational human being, if I'm here to protect you and you start attacking me, self-defense by nature, it is the law of nature. I'm not going to stand there and say, because my boss is saying to me that when you go there, no matter how much you are provoked, stand there and ensure. They are human beings. They have families. They also have the moral right to protect themselves. Why are we not saying that too? If you go for a demonstration, you've been given an approved route, you need to pass here, and you decide that, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go on to another place because that's what I want to do. First and foremost, it means that you've come with a predetermined mind already. The police are not there to be walked over. They would also ensure that what has been agreed is adhered to. That much I totally stand with them. I understand that they need to do that, because wherever you want to pass, if it's not been agreed, there's normal flow of traffic there. People understand that this is the route, this is my normal route. But because there's a demonstration, I'm not going to use that. I'm going through an alternative route. I don't expect to see chaos or vehicular traffic being, you know, stopped, or people passing through. I expect that whatever route they've been giving, they pass there. My other thing is that...
But they agreed on a route with the police.
And they were determined not to use that route. They were determined not to use that route.
Because if you listen to the organizers, they said that
the organizers
they
have
agreed
to look
with the
good.
police. Hold on,
They
agreed on the route. Even Egbeta himself said it, that they agreed on the route.
But
and
so
the police said they won't allow them, which is why they formed the
police,
shield.
the law, the Public Order Act, I wish you could open it because time, I don't want to use all my time. It gives the police that authority to determine that and tell them, for A and B reasons, we are not allowing you to use this route. It doesn't happen to just NDC.
But is it not a show of bad faith?
No,
they had already initially agreed on
that
the route.
The police didn't say that they had already agreed on that route.
So the police has not come out to deny these allegations made by the organizers.
The fact that the police haven't come out doesn't make it that the organizers are 100% right.
That
I'd like to even go on to the
carry on, but hold on. The organizers said that they had an agreement with the police on, you know, converging at the Jubilee House as well, and also they told them the time that they wanted to do it. Initially it was 48 hours. The police said we cannot grant you security for 48 hours, and then they wanted to do it in the evening. They said they'll end it at 10 p.m. What are you going to do in that evening? They said they'll end at 10 p.m. Police said 10 p.m. was not good, so they even said the police suggested that end at 8 p.m. So that was agreed on, only for them to wake up and realize that the police had run to court to seek an injunction.
The police have that right, don't they?
No, but why do
you agree? When you say the police ran to court, they didn't run to court. No, they went to court. But
if you agree,
the police have that right to go to court too. We should not make it that the police are wrong.
So
I would have wished that.
No, allow me, please.
Maybe we should have had a police officer here.
Hold on, calm down. So as per the words of the organizers, the police agreed on the route and the time with them. Can you repeat that? But the police, the words of the organizers. No. Let me ask my question.
Are you here for the organizers?
No, hold on.
She's part of the organizers.
Let me ask my question.
The organizers
are being disruptive at this point.
No. Because I've noticed that when she was talking, you don't want me to flow.
I'm just asking you a question. So per their words, they're saying that the police agreed with them on the route and the time. Okay? And then the police went to court on their blind side to seek an injunction on the route and the time that they had both agreed on. Now, the police released 2 statements on the first day of the demonstration, and even yesterday they released another statement. In all these statements, they did not address these allegations that were made by the organizers, that indeed we agreed on the time and the routes. They didn't address that. Does that not leave room for conjecture and for people to believe maybe that the organizers really did agree on a route with the police? Should they not have responded to that?
I'm not here to speak for the police. So one, I can't say that. And two, for me here, I do not believe everything the organizers have said.
Okay.
I do not believe it. The organizers want to look good. They are saying that, I heard Mr. Sami Jemfi saying that the response from the Deputy Minister for Finance was political gimmick. If you thought it was political gimmick, why did you take it there? You don't believe the person. You don't have faith in the person, but you are taking something to them. So you are also engaging in the same political gimmick. So I can say that whatever paper they took to the deputy was only for show. It was only for the TVs. It was only for the cameras. They also didn't mean it. Because if I come to you and I tell you that I need a job, and I'm serious about it, and I come for an interview with you, you expect me to at least believe that I may be capable of doing what I've come to you with my CV with. But then if at the start you tell me from the word go that, oh, I took my CV to TV3 and I met Miss Bella, but I don't think she'll give me the job. Automatically, that's a defeatist approach. But if I come to you with that, I should at least have some faith that this CV that I've brought you, this interview that I've attended, something may come out of it. But if you tell me that, yes, she's received it or the government has received it and it's political gimmick, I don't believe it. Automatically, I'm also going to tell you that then what you did was just for show.
They say they want to see action.
Yes, so that's why.
Talk.
So if you want to see action and not talk, then don't bring me a sheet of paper with your concerns on it.
But who else would they send it to?
So
because that's the Ministry of Finance.
Yes, you are telling me that you brought something to me. My response is that, yes, I've received it. I've heard your concerns. You are not the only person who is talking or who is saying that times are hard. Even every Ghanaian, every person in Ghana is actually talking about it. It comes with MPP people are talking. They are saying that the system is hard because of this. NDC person, any person walking on the street who might not be political is talking about it. The onus doesn't lie on you to say that because I've said it, I know you won't do anything about it. For me, when you do that, then why come to me in the first place? So because you don't want me to talk. You don't want me to come and say something. In that same vein, if no representative had come from the deputy, the finance ministry to meet them, they would have got to stand somewhere and say that, oh, we went there, nobody even came to look at us. Want to no get. There's no win situation with you.
Okay.
We are not here to satisfy just NDC. We are here to ensure that Ghanaians, every Ghanaian, at least is comfortable. Yes, times are hard. The government is not sitting on its just pretending they don't see what's going on. This week, the Minister for Information, the Minister for Food and Agriculture, the Minister for Transport met with leaders of transport unions, market people, to sit with them and talk about the situation. Food prices, what is causing it? What can we do to help? We've tried this, it's not working or it hasn't yielded the results that we're expecting. What are the other options? These are all how to build consensus, how to get a country moving. Nobody is sitting down and folding their arms and living ostentatious lives.
Which is why we're asking what you're doing about it. But earlier you said you're not here to satisfy the NDC. Does that mean that you assume that the demonstrators were largely NDC members?
Lady Beatrice, you introduced her as a member of NDC.
Yes, but she represented Bernard Mona, who's the former chairman
so
of the
you know
PNC.
what? If demonstration was a cause, Bernard Mona would have a PhD by now. So kudos to him.
There were representatives of GUM. We're even told that there were some members of the MPP who were even on the demonstration as well.
I don't know every member of MPP.
It was an amalgamation
there were Ghanaians.
Regular Ghanaians.
There were Ghanaians. Yes, they all live in Ghana. Every Ghanaian, every person has that right. But if Mr. Sami Jemfi is leading, is a member of it, which party is he from? He's no less a person than they are the face of NDC.
Dr. Nyanya Otamaklo endorsed this. I mean, they even played a courtesy call on other leaders of the NPP as well.
With all due respect,
Dr. Rekubrobe was one of the people they called on.
Yeah, of course. They would. Did they call Dr. Kennedy? The three doctors, 3 in 1. They would call them. If you are going to do an Arise Ghana demonstration, you call Dr. Nyanya Otamaklo, you call Dr. Rekubrobe, he's my uncle, Wafa, good morning. And you call, there are certain people that you call. For me, I'm sitting here, I will not be surprised. It would be totally strange if they didn't call them.
Why?
This is me talking. It would be really strange if they didn't get them. I'm sure if it hadn't been for age or maybe some constraint, would have seen them join them as well.
But Dr. Nyao Tamaklo is a leading
Dr.
member.
Dr. Nyao Tamaklo is not a leading member of MPP now.
Is he not a founding member of the MPP?
That's what he claims. I've not cited
Dr. Rekubrobe is
Dr. Rekubrobe came from
UDM in 1995.
The fact that you joined Akufo-Addo in 1995 does not mean that you are still an Akufo-Addo person or you are part of a party. It's a freedom of choice, freedom of speech, freedom of right. They might sit there in their minds and say, because at one time I was an MPP member, I'm still done. When was the last time you saw Dr. Nyao Tamaklo at an MPP?
So he's not a member of the MPP at the moment?
For me sitting here, Dr. Nyao Tamaklo is not a member of the party that I joined. Because I don't remember the last time I saw him red, white and blue, which are the MPP colors. So as I sit here now, I don't see him. When was the last time he paid his dues? We could go to that.
You have details of that he doesn't pay.
I'm just saying that when was the last time he paid his dues?
All right.
He should come and tell us all these.
Let's take a breather quickly. When we come back, we'll get a response from Beatrice. And, of course, we'll talk further about